See Titans 20-41. They fall in this one, and they fall to 0-3 as Cam Ward still searching for his first career victory and maybe searching for a clear picture out there as well.
Daniel, what are you most proud of? The fact
it's a smile of a man who's balling as well. Taking a look at Jonathan Taylor's numbers, a compliment there to Daniel Jones in the run game here. Taylor, 102 and 3 touchdowns. Loves a matchup with the Titans. Back in studio with the guys, and I'm looking at 816 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 1 punt this season for the Daniel Jones-led offense, Mac. I think surprise is a fair word because of the picture painted of Daniel Jones throughout his career, but this is now consistency across 12 quarters.
I think it's time, guys, to have an uncomfortable conversation.
Please.
In this conversation, it goes with, there could be a team led by Daniel Jones that's a top 3 team in their conference. Oh. That is the uncomfortable conversation.
I was waiting for the uncomfortable part, what we found out.
And the reason why it's uncomfortable because Daniel Jones is leading this team in a way in which we thought was not possible for him. And his style of play and how they protect the football, they're number 1 in the turnover differential, which is a surprise, and what he's doing in terms of efficiency, and he's having fun, and everything is coming together under his watch. Remember how bad they were a year ago in finding ways to lose ball games. Now, they're not just winning ball games, they're doing so with style. Once upon a time when the BCS was a thing, you had to do so with BCS points. You needed style. Right? And they're delivering style. Yeah. And like I said, in 3 weeks of play, when you look at the cream of the crop in the AFC, you cannot have that conversation without the Indianapolis Colts being involved. When you look at Buffalo, when you look at Baltimore, the Chargers, you have to have their name in that conversation right now.
Max spent his Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska, trying to take us back to the age.
BCS.
The BCS. He might be living in the 90s. You know, they get stuck there.
It is Throwback Sunday for CBS.
To your point, though, this is a victory and another performance over Cam Ward's Titans. I don't think grand proclamation needs to be made just yet, but this is sound football. This is clean football. And this is a quarterback who's gotten a lease on life somewhere else. You've been in a couple different buildings, Ben. How can setting change performance in some cases?
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it with Daniel Jones firsthand these first couple of weeks, right? 3-0, sometimes a change of scenery is a great thing. And dare I say it, this team, this quarterback feels a little bit like the Minnesota Vikings of last year, right? Sam Darnold, change of scenery, change of coach, change of offense. You're seeing a guy who looks really comfortable, is taking care of the ball. And dare I say the word game manager? I know some guys don't like being called game managers. That's exactly what Daniel Jones is doing. He's taking care of the ball. This offense is being really efficient. They're moving the ball. Punters staying on the sidelines. They're 3-0 for a reason, and Daniel Jones at the forefront of it.
You want to have an uncomfortable conversation. It's going to be time for those sooner rather than later, maybe, JJ. We're talking about a quarterback who is playing for future compensation, playing for future position. When do those conversations start happening, and what do those conversations look like?
If the Indianapolis Colts want to, they can engage with Daniel Jones and his representation at any point. I don't know that they will because they still have a top 5 pick that's there on their roster in Anthony Richardson, someone who everyone there chose Anthony Richardson. So if you do sign Daniel Jones to a long-term contract extension during the season, which they can do, that spells the end of Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. So I don't know that they would do that. Also, if you're Daniel Jones and his representation, do you want to do this right now? Because right now, it's minus $30 million per year. Because consider this, the franchise tag for this upcoming year is going to be somewhere around $42 million. They could tag him, and that's 42 unmovable millions of dollars. So what you would think would be somewhere like a 3-year deal. That's $120 million, where it's a 2 plus a 1, essentially. That is what we're talking about, the money that's on the table right now for Daniel Jones.
It's interesting, too, because I know you don't use past contracts in different places as framework, but 40 per for 2 seasons in that agreement with the New York Giants, you have to think that representation is saying, we have made this, we'd like this.
There's no doubt about that. Sam Darnold got somewhere around $33 million per year. Baker Mayfield, you go back where he signed the 3-year, $100 million contract. But again, what you can use is, hey, you want to tag him? Then go ahead and tag him. It's $42 million. That will count against your cap. Yeah. Or sign him to a deal that averages that, and you can bring down the cap number when you sign him to that long-term extension.
We'll leave that to the front office. Daniel Jones wants to continue talking football because we're talking 3-0 start. As for the Titans, Cam Ward, the top overall pick. Patience is a virtue, but you're seeing some bad habits downloading here over the first 3 weeks, an 0-3 start. For top overall pick since 2019, sort of what it looks like. Buccaneers, you find a way to win. You present yourself nicely for 3 quarters, but teachable moments there in the fourth, JJ. What do you take away from this one? Or do you just say 3-0, let's move forward?
There's some of that. I will say this about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, about Todd Bowles, who for a number of years had to wear a sort of scarlet letter of he doesn't know how to manage game time and time management and timeouts. What have we seen through 3 weeks this season? We have seen that no one wants to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 60th minute of an NFL football game, that they are 3-0 because they have won the final minute of each of their 3 contests. What the Buccaneers did in this offseason, I believe, is they went out and really spent a lot of time on game research, on analytics, on game management, and we are seeing it pay off. There, when they needed to score against the Jets after a blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown, what did they do? Didn't panic, just like we saw last week against the Houston Texans. They went down, were able to get a big play from Emeka Egbuka, and they had 2 timeouts remaining to control the clock. That has been the biggest difference because the talent's been roughly the same. Baker Mayfield's still that dude. Todd Bowles has changed, and it is why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-0.
It's a great point, and I'm glad you mentioned Egbuka because Mike Evans goes down in this game. Emeka Egbuka has stepped into whatever role is asked of him in these first 3 games of his professional career. What do you see in the fluidity of his game this early on, Matt?
Well, it's like he's been here before. You know, most rookies, they go through the motion, they learn as they go. But for Emeka, it's like, I've been down this rodeo before. I know how to handle the ebbs and flows of a ball game and the experience and his route running. Because when you look at Emeka Egbuka, it's not like he's a 4-2 or 4-3 guy. He's fast. But what he does better than most young receivers, he attacks angles. That creates separation for quarterbacks to have that secure blanket to be able to put the football where they need to put the football. And another thing that helps Emeka Egbuka out is he got a legit playmaker at the quarterback position. When I say playmaker, I'm talking about guys like Josh Allen is a playmaker at the quarterback position. Lamar Jackson is a playmaker at the quarterback position. Whatever you want to say about Jalen Hurts and how he handles his business, I consider him to be a playmaker at the quarterback position. Guess who's now moved into that neighborhood? Baker Mayfield. The last 3 ball games in game-winning scenarios, he has delivered with ease.
No doubt.
Everyone else in the stadium, they're a bit rattled, they're a bit nervous. But old Baker, even in 4th down moments, I got this. I either make a play with my arm or I will make a play with my legs. And he did so today. And get this, guys, they had 14 penalties. 14 penalties.
That's too many.
Right? For 124 yards. Most of the time, that will cause you to lose a ball game. Yeah. But they're good enough to weather those storms, along with the penalties and the injuries, and still find a way to win.
We're sitting there, Ben, and we're watching Baker do what Baker does when they were amassing that lead earlier on in this game. And you said that's just a guy that you like spending time with, you like playing with, you like being around. What does that do for a group?
Oh, I mean, especially in the NFL, the quarterback position, I mean, B-Bank, you know, it makes the locker room go, it makes the team go, it makes the organization go, right? So if you've got a guy like Baker Mayfield who is going to put his body on the line every single time he's going out there playing for his teammates, playing for coaches, whoever, it's a guy you can rally around. It's a guy you love playing for, putting the pads on every Sunday for, and going out there and competing with.
You are what your record is. 3-0 is 3-0. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of the gates to a perfect note. Not a perfect performance in this one, but